Hey y'all, it's me again, Boo, back with another special sample edition. This one is going to be the Tower edition. I had a couple of samples that I had ordered um, of Tower fragrances before I contacted Andy Tower, and he sent me this little sample pack. It's just really cool. And then, of course, I have owned L'air du Desert Moroccan for quite some time and love it. It's very spicy, incensey to me, kind of a little smoky, but and it has a very large aroma cloud in the hot weather. So I tend to, if I'm going to wear it, because I like wearing fragrances year round, I just, mess with them. So I've given it like one squirt, and then I'll put a layer of Une Bois Vanille by Serge Lutens over the top of it, or my New Jersey from United Scents of America, a really nice kind of sweet popcorny smell. There's that corny word again. Anyway, and it just mellows out the spices just a little bit and kind of kicks down the sweet of the other fragrances a little bit. And I've just been having a blast messing with those. And what's really cool about layering such opposite fragrances, such fragrances that are such the antithesis of each other, is that it's really interesting when I wear them and there's a little breeze going. I'll get a little hint of spice and then a hint of sweet. I mean, they never tend to completely merge together, and I kind of like that. It has many layers. Anyway, that's the L'air du Desert Moroccan. And then I had these other two samples that I'll talk about them first before I get to the stuff from Andy. Anyway, this first one, make sure I've got the right one up here. Yeah. This first one I was going to talk about is called Incense Rose. Wait, there we go. Incense Rose. And these are decent sized samples too. I mean, these aren't the little 1 ml dabbers. These are really nice. Anyway, this is a just what it says. It's an incense rose. Now, I love Andy's take on roses, though. As I've said 1,000 times, if I've said it once, I'm not a rose person, or tuberose, or gardenia normally. Some of those really strong one-note flowers. I like flowers that can mingle with other flowers better. So I don't know, he makes it like, and the only way I like a rose smell is like what's in Habanita, where it's that graveyard rose. And I love that gothic rose. And he almost does that, but he makes it a little more feminine. And then by adding the incense, you would think incense and rose, that sounds a lot like Habanita, but this doesn't smell anything like Habanita. Habanita is a little more blended. It's a little, in my opinion, more linear. Andy's fragrances tend to, now some of them are fairly linear, like a Moroccan. That one stays fairly spicy throughout the whole thing. It doesn't change a whole lot. This one does change a bit. In my opinion, it loses a little rose and gets more incense as it dries down. But I was going to tell you what's in it, so instead of just guesstimating here, because I have a lot to go through, so I need to hop through these. Introduces cedar from Texas, vetiver, balsamic, and dark myrrh, patchouli, natural frankincense, labdanum, and ambrion. And I guess that's, oh, nope. And it opens with, I guess I gave you the middle and base notes there. Yeah, the base. With the opening, incense rose brings notes of mystical and dark rose, followed by bergamot and clementine essential oil combined with cardamom and Bulgarian rose. The heart reveals a new and mysterious world with orris, which is just iris root. Dark and exuberant at the same time, combined with castor and woodsy accords. And you do get some woods when it dries down, and that kind of helps mellow out the incense. I like incense, but in small degrees. I like it more in the background, like what's in Angel or something like that. I like other notes to be a little more prominent. When this dries down, I do get a lot of incense. Really not my cup of tea, but it's so different and it's lovely. I really like this one. And you know, down the road, I'll revisit these because the ones I'm kind of on the fence about, I have noticed that if I come back to them, I won't be on the fence about them anymore, whether that's a week later or a month or a year. I will have made a very definite decision whether I like it or hate it, or love it or hate it, really. So that's Incense Rose by Andy Tower. And the next one is Une Rose Chypre. And I actually put a little bit of this one on. This is really nice. And it's so weird because anything with the title of rose in it turns me off. But again, this is kind of a graveyard rose. The fun of having dogs, you always have dog hair in your mouth. It's kind of a graveyard rose. And I smell, this one kind of reminds me of this one, except for the Chypre there's definitely more woodsy notes in it and less incensey smells. It's a little less spicy than the Incense Rose. The rose is similar though, and this is the only kind of rose I really like. And he has a great way of making everything smell really dusty. That used to be a real turnoff for me. Back in the days when the 90s, the early 90s and late 90s, when I really started getting into fragrances, I hated if it said powdery, dusty. I didn't even pay no attention to it because I couldn't stand it. Now I'm really getting into them. I just like that. It kind of gives it an old, ancient feel or something. Just that, I keep using the word gothic, but I don't know what else to say. And I'm never going to make it through all these in one. I may have to break this into two parts. So Une Rose Chypre includes aromas of essential oil and rose damascena, absolute, bay leaf, cinnamon, bergamot, lemon, clementine, bourbon, geranium, laudanum. Laudanum. I thought that was an old drug. Anyway, vetiver, oak moss, patchouli, and vanilla. So, and I haven't been telling you what people say it smells similar to. This one is Femme Rocus by Rocus. That's what people say. Somebody said it smelled similar to. Or Incense Rose, which I do agree. But I tend to like Une Rose Chypre a little better. It's a little sweeter. This one isn't real sweet, the Incense Rose. But the Une Rose Chypre is a little sweet. Oh, man. I might have to revisit that one for winter. Anyway. All right. Next one. I'm going to have to knock these out really quick. This is a little pack that he sent me. It's really cool. Inside, there we go. You've got all these little cards in there that tell about each one of the fragrances that you got. And then here's how the fragrances come. Again, these huge vials. And I'm going to try to get these done in the few minutes I have left. The first one is Lonestar Memories. And I did wear these around for a couple of days, just so I could kind of get a feel for them. This is really, I think, kind of a guy's scent. I think it's a great title because I lived in Texas. I know I've lived everywhere. But I lived down in San Antonio and Austin. And I can really, this reminds me of Texas because it smells like saddles and the oil they rub on the saddles and the dry deserty air, and you know, then of course the spices added into it. It says the scent of a lonesome rider wearing old jeans and leather jacket after a long day on the horse in the dry woods, preparing his coffee in the open smoky fire. The notes: green geranium, spicy carrot seed blended with clary sage. The heart features smoky leather, cistus, and a hint of jasmine. The base notes includes the finest woods and balms: myrrh, sandalwood, vetiver, and tonka. And it really, you know, I really like a good male fragrance. And this would, you know, I may do a drive-by spritzing of my husband one of these days and try it on him because I love the scent. It's just a little too butch for me. And that's Lonestar Memories. See if anybody says it smells similar to anything. Well, there's just a few people. One person each said Peau d'Espagne by Oficina Profumo Farmaceutica di Santa Maria Novella. Wow, that was a name. Or Les Nombres d'Orcour by Mona Diorio. Or Vierge et Torios by Et Libre d'Orange. I don't know about that. And I didn't tell you about Incense Rose, if there was anything anybody said it smelled similar to. One person said similar to Orange Star by Tower, and the other one said Une Rose Chypre by Tower, and we already went through that. Now the next one is, let me find it here. There it is. And this is Carrillon pour un ange. Building a fragrance with lily of the valley, singing in spring was a wish since I started making perfumes. Carrillon pour un ange, I don't know, is my tribute to the wonderful forest treasure. It is a green choir of flowers. Composition includes rose, ylang ylang, lilac, lily of the valley, jasmine, leather, ambergris, moss, woods, and this is also, of course, by Andy Taylor. Now, this one was kind of tuberosy gardenia-y to me, and I didn't much care for it. Now, okay, it kind of had the gardenia smell, to be real honest with you. So I think I think this is going to be a serious kimchi fragrance, because I think the women that like it are definitely going to like the response that happens when they wear it. And eventually down the road, those that don't like it might start wearing it for the same response that they might get from men. Because it does remind me a little bit of Paradis Interdit by Guerlain. That fabulous koi sent me that incredibly expensive sample. It reminds me a little of that. But Paradis Interdit is much creamier. Andy doesn't do a lot of creamy. He does really dusty, spicy, ancient kind of smells, which I love. And but I love the creamy too. It's just using the word creamy and gardenia in the same sentence. Being a nurse kind of takes it to a whole new medical level to me and kind of creeps me out. So I just don't think I'll ever be wearing Paradis Interdit, even if I become very rich and can afford it. And this one I won't be wearing either. Sorry, Andy, but I love your fragrances, but this one is just not for me. But I bet you there's some chicks out there that are going to dig this. So that's Carrillon pour un ange. I don't know. So, and then the next one, how's my time? Eee! Okay, you know what? I don't want to rush through these Andy Tower fragrances, so I'm going to cut this one off here, and I'm just going to do a part 2 for the other 3 samples that I've got, because these last 3 are my favorites of the whole batch, and I do not want to be rushed through them. So, I'll be right back for part 2 for the Andy Tower samples. And I know there's no way that Andy's watching this, but if any of his people are or anything, please tell him I am just so grateful and so thrilled that he sent me these. I was really, really moved by it, and I'm going to be buying some bottles because of it. So I really appreciate it. All right, and y'all have a good day. Peace.